light keeps getting brighter as I wake up to the truth. Every day I'm feeling so much lighter, and the world seems fresh and new. What I was taught and the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us, but yesterday I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the paths that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the paths that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Every morning brings a new beginning. By grace another day to be. I awaken to the sun upon me shining, lighting the way for me to see. Things that I sought in the way that I thought stopped serving me long ago. Now I'm learning to trust in the God of all of us. Of yesterday I'm letting go. I'm letting go. I'm walking away from the thinking that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away that led me to such sadness. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the less than that held me for so long. Today is the day I walk away. I'm walking away from the paths that led me to confusion. Today is the day I walk away. Every day I walk away. Today is the day I walk away.
Good morning, beloved of God. And thank you, Thomas, for that song. This month, Michael and Ed and I have been sharing messages about gratefulness. And last week, Michael taught us about being grateful for our challenges. Today, I'd like to share with you a message about being grateful for our mistakes. Have you ever made a mistake that was so embarrassing you wanted to hide it from other people? Have you ever made a mistake that hurt someone else? Have you ever made a mistake that seemed so big, it scared you into thinking you would never try anything like that again. Well, how we grew up as a child and how our parents and teachers and other people reacted to our mistakes has a great deal to do with the level of courage and self-confidence that we have now as adults to get up and start again when we make a mistake. But if we were punished or laughed at or humiliated by others when we made mistakes earlier in life, then we are likely to be much more cautious about trying new things and much less curious and confident to just go for it, no matter how many times we have to do something again till we get it right. Life on earth requires a certain amount of boldness, doesn't it? And it also requires some self-compassion and an understanding that mistakes are just a part of life here. One definition I read of a mistake is that it's a wrong action attributable to bad judgment, ignorance, or inattention. Here's what we need to remember when we make a mistake, though. It's not a failure. It's a miscalculation. It's an oops. It's taken me a very long time in life to see that most mistakes are like rehearsals. And if the rehearsal didn't go the way that we wanted it to go, we can simply do the thing again and again and just go for it from a different angle. So what gets in the way of our learning is often one of two things: perfectionism or procrastination. And both are forms of fear. In perfectionism, we're afraid of making a mistake, especially if somebody else will see it. I like the quote that says, "Making mistakes is better than faking perfection." Being perfect is an illusion. There's no such thing, because this is a schoolhouse. We're all here to learn. So perfectionism is an illusion and it's exhausting. In procrastination, we're afraid of being responsible for moving ahead. But all life wants us to move on. All life wants us to grow and change. As Abraham Lincoln once said, you cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Our mistakes need not be a reason for embarrassment, dear ones. Instead, they can be accepted as our growing edges, the places where we have more to learn. And learning is a really good thing. It's why we are here. So when we've made an error, we can ask ourselves very honestly, what could I learn from this? I love to hear people say that when things don't go the way they wanted them to go in their life. They just simply say, what could I learn from this? Or what could I or would I do differently next time? Then a mistake is simply an oops on the road of learning in life and not a dead end. You know, life on this planet is messy and scary and complicated at times, isn't it? Sure. And at other times, even in the same day or the same hour, it is amazingly beautiful and richly rewarding. Most of the rewards come through choosing to learn and grow within the moment. So where are your learning edges? And just think about it for a moment. Have you been hiding out there? Have you been hiding behind past mistakes, afraid to just step out boldly and say, well, here we go, let's try this again? And where have you made mistakes that you'd like to make a correction? Identify those areas. And then think about the kind of help that you might need or want to assist you in learning how to do better. I'm that way with technology. Even though I'm on Facebook, if I asked you to raise your hand, I know that many, many people would raise their hand if they said, yes, I have a lot to learn about technology. It keeps outpacing my understanding, right? So when I'm really, really stuck, well, sometimes I can just use the internet, and go to YouTube and say, how do you do this? And watch one of a bazillion videos, right? Or sometimes I have to call someone and have them talk me through it. So what does this mean? It means that somewhere in our life, we have to decide to be like an athlete, be unafraid to grow, be unafraid to improve, and be willing to make lots of mistakes and learn from all of them. Imagine that you are your best champion, that you're a coach, that you're coaching yourself, and say to yourself each morning, come on, let's go make mistakes. That would not be a mistake, because those who make no mistakes make nothing. They stand still. They stay stuck. So come on, let's go make mistakes, and then let's learn from them all. But some mistakes in life have much greater consequences than others, and it takes a different mindset to deal with them. Maybe you've made a few like that. I know I have. And they take a mindset of courage and forgiveness. It takes courage to forgive ourselves when we've made mistakes, especially if those mistakes have hurt someone. It takes courage to admit the hurt that we caused and apologize or make amends if we can. It takes courage to face ourselves in the mirror when our mistakes embarrassed us in front of other people. I got to tell you about one of the worst in my life. Then maybe you'll relax. So, as most of you know, I entered the convent when I was 15 years old to study to become a Catholic nun. And a few years into that process, I entered the novitiate. And that's when at that time, we received the full habit, wool garments and a starched wimple that went around our face. And we weren't accustomed to walking around in this long dress that went all the way to our shoes. So my parents were there and some of my family celebrating with me that day that I became a novice. And I remembered that I had left something for them, upstairs in my room, and I had to go 2 or 3 flights up. I can't remember. So I was running, I was really hurrying, and I stepped on the front part of my dress, not remembering that it was there, and I fell flat on my face on the stairs. Terrazzo stairs, no give. When I looked up, standing at the top of the stairs was the woman who was in charge of all the new novices. She was very tall, and she was looking down at me. She had a long nose. She was looking down over that nose at me. And I don't even remember what she said, but it was so embarrassing. I thought that the wimple would catch on fire. My face was so red. Well, since then, I've learned through much trial and error over the years to just give it all to God. Give it all to God and get back out there. When I say, take this mistake, God, and make it a miracle, I'm not only praying good for other people, but I'm also accepting good for myself. I love this quote from Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "The weak can never forgive because forgiveness is the attribute of the strong." When we forgive ourselves, we are deciding to stand in our innocence, our natural state of being. And the Course also says, the miracle forgives, the ego or the small self condemns. Forgiveness leads away from error, not toward it. So healing is only held back by our own unwillingness to let our mistakes go and just forgive ourselves. And then to allow Spirit to correct what needs correcting. If we insist on staying stuck in shame and embarrassment, we're merely delaying our miracles, the miracle of healing and learning and beautiful growth. The Course says not one mistake stands in our way, for we have been absolved of all errors. There's a wonderful place for kids, and really, I like it, so I go there too, called the Khan Academy, K-A-H-N, khanacademy.org. And I went there this week and it's asking about, mistakes. And it said, there are 3 common ways that we allow mistakes to hurt our learning process. Number 1, we get discouraged. We get frustrated and we give up. Number 2, we don't reflect on our mistakes. We don't own up to them, and we don't see them as useful tools, useful signals to missing parts of our understanding. And third, this is a really dangerous one too, we avoid taking risks. And so we avoid the situations where we're most likely to learn. The Course says mistakes are tiny shadows, quickly gone, that for an instant only seem to hide the face of Christ, which still remains unchanged behind them all. It says a miracle is a correction introduced into false thinking. If we're afraid to make mistakes, we literally miss countless opportunities to enter the miracle of learning. We miss the miracle of self-confidence. Confidence comes with doing. It doesn't come with hiding out. So we miss the miracle of self-confidence, which is something that can only be gained in doing things again and again and moving through each mistake to a whole new level of competence and understanding. We miss the miracle of humility, which helps us laugh at ourselves more and judge ourselves less. In humility, we can say, oops, and try again. And we miss the miracle of true intimacy with our own soul, because the soul is completely invested in learning as a part of our growth and awakening in this world. It's never a mistake to try and try again. Never. As the author, teacher, and mental health coach Douglas Block says, it's okay to make mistakes. No one gets it right all the time. But you need to stop the inner critic. Learn to forgive yourself, he says, and be open to learning. Sometimes what seems to be a mistake can really be an unexpected blessing. And Eckhart Tolle says, a mistake can hold a higher purpose for learning. The Course says the only reason that we don't let ourselves, or we don't let our mistakes go, is because we think there's something else, some purpose that will be served by holding on to them. I don't know. Maybe we're looking for some kind of punishment. Who knows? But we hold on to our disappointment, our discouragement, our guilt, and even our shame, because we think some kind of different outcome is going to come if we hold on. Yet the only way we move along is to simply move along. Make mistakes and move on. Make mistakes and keep going. Make mistakes and know they are part of life and learning here on earth. Today, let us be grateful that we indeed can and do learn from mistakes. They don't take us backward unless we get stuck in some emotional reaction to them. All mistakes in judgment that the mind has made before are open to correction, the Course says, as the truth dismisses them as causeless. The past is nothing, for it is gone. It's not a mistake to try. It's not a mistake. It's never a mistake to try. It's never a mistake to love. It's never a mistake to trust God and the good. It's never a mistake to act generously within our means, to just go for it. So let's go into meditation for a moment. And the Course would lead us there with these beautiful words. The stillness and the peace of now enfold us in perfect gentleness. Everything is gone except the truth. God's hand has held us up. God's thoughts have lit the darkness in our minds. God's love has called to us unceasingly since time began. So I invite you to find a place of stillness and peace within yourself. And then assume a posture of self-compassion by placing your hand over your heart and just let it rest there. And think of a mistake from the past that still bothers you in some way, that causes you uncomfortable feelings. Just think about that mistake. And then say in your mind, with love and sincerity, the past is gone. God is the love in which I now forgive myself. I let this mistake go, and all is well within me. I am grateful for the miracle of learning. Now let yourself be comforted. Let God's healing love wash over you in waves of peace. Let us just be still a moment in those waves of peace. And breathe. And from your heart, extend this love and peace to those you may have hurt in any way with your mistakes. And with your hand still over your heart, in your mind, pray. The past is gone. God is the love in which I now ask you to forgive me as I forgive myself. I let this mistake go, and all is well within me. I am grateful for the miracle of learning. Again, let God's love wash over you and through you, healing everything between you and those other people. Be in peace. Breathe and extend this peace to everyone in your life. From your heart, extend this love and peace to all the world. Dear one, you who are the beloved of God, from my heart, I pray you and yours a truly happy Thanksgiving filled with miracles, one after another. God is with us all, and all is well. Amen. Namaste.